Good Friday afternoon. We're on the cusp of our first real push of autumn-like weather here across much of the eastern seaboard as we saw a first cold front move through last night and a secondary reinforcing front arriving this evening. That brings to light the thought of fall foliage. From the Foliage Network, the latest update here coming out yesterday on the 28th. Already showing some pretty good color. Again, this is mostly up in the higher elevations in the western part of the state, talking about Charlottesville area, Blue Ridge Parkway, Skyline Drive, that sort of deal in the higher elevations there. Seeing some high to moderate color, some low color, even right along I-81 there, moving on to the western parts of the state. Little to no change here as you get close to the water. Still just been too warm. But some of this colder air building on in is going to start to change over some of those leaves, at least just a little bit. We likely don't see our peak until the end of October. Now, there's a lot of different factors that go into how much color we see, the timing of when the peak color arrives. It's all broken down to a science and different factors. So we'll talk about sunlight here. First we'll talk about rain, I should say. The more summer rain we see, it causes later, brighter colors. If we see a drought, it usually causes an earlier pop to the color and earlier leaf drop as well. So it all depends on the amount of precipitation we see throughout the spring and summer. Also, temperatures have a big play in how much color we see and when that happens. The warmer autumn delays and shortens the foliage season. That makes sense, and an increased variability of temperatures increases the peak timing and the color as well. Last but not least, sunshine, the amount of sunshine we see. Sunny days produce lots of sugar in the leaves, which leads to different colors, and plentiful sugar and light produce great reds, purples, oranges, and reds and crimsons all over the landscape. So it really depends on sunlight, precipitation, and of course temperatures as well. Let's talk about those different colors because different chemicals within the leaves create different colors once they start to fade just a little bit. The green color is driven by chlorophyll, so you see those all the time, green leaves all throughout the year. But when you get reds, that's anthocyanins, and also the oranges, carotenoids, bring in those oranges, yellows, and reds. So pretty cool stuff there depending on what colors you're seeing. All right, peak timing in terms of fall foliage here across the mid-Atlantic, North Carolina, and Virginia. Typically, the closer you get to the water, a little bit later, October 20th, right on through Halloween, even sometimes a little bit later than that, the first week in November. Obviously, we'll see them a little bit sooner, probably within the next 2 weeks in the western parts of the states and the higher elevations due to the drop in temperatures a little bit earlier there. So that's the latest fall foliage update for you. We'll call it Foliage Fridays going forth and through the autumn season, but that's the latest update for you there. Have a great weekend.